Pinpingho is going to be in big trouble. Game number 1's about to begin, and we have Hosty here as the Warrior versus Shaman. Was that a Baron Geddon I seen thrown away? So that was...
Yeah.
That's a card that's going to be really valuable in this matchup for sure.
It's been really popular. I really like it in Warrior right now, for sure.
A Chillin' Yeti as well. You know, I love watching Asia's metagame, blend with the West because they always have interesting ideas of what's good and bad. Zombie Chow has, of course, been making a more popular appearance in Shaman because they want to dominate the board, but Chillin' Yeti, what do you think? Do you think that replaces the Gnomish Inventor?
Yeah, I mean, there's the Violet Teacher that some people like that maybe they don't like when Hunter's around. There's the chill. There's the well, I don't know what the Yeti suggests. It could suggest maybe more mid-range, maybe a Sylvanas Reincarnate.
Yeah, it's just Yeti's an interesting choice. I mean, it's a great card on its own, of course, but stabilization for Shaman never seemed to be its problem around the 4 mana cost. So
Yeah,
it's an interesting choice. All right, well, it seemed like Hosty was not happy. He's drawn Big Game Hunter. Although Harrison Jones could be a swing card that could be impactful if his opponent does have Doomhammer.
yeah. Maybe with Yeti he doesn't even have Doomguard, or if it's just more minion heavy.
Did I say Doomguard? I meant Doomhammer.
Yeah.
My bad.
Okay, so not attacking the Armor Smith. So he's gonna get the Cruel Taskmaster off, but it's gonna be left at 1 HP if he trades. He could just take out a Totem as well. And he might want to save the Cruel Taskmaster for that Acolyte to guarantee the draw, because it's hard to draw off it with versus a Shaman.
He didn't do that last turn. You get the option to
Yeah.
up to save his cool taskmaster.
Yeah. Oh, and actually, if you look, is right next to the Big Game Hunter too, which is a combo that you need to use against Shaman because they don't have any Big Game Hunters targets outside of Searing Totem or Flame Tongue Totem.
Well, you could use it on a Fire Elemental with Cruel Task or
Yeah.
Lothep.
Yeah, but he just gave it up.
Speaking, there's not a lot of targets.
Taunt Totem is really good value here. Being able to clear the opponent's board. And
That's what you need to do every single time.
as a shaman player, just protect the board as much as possible.
Pretty weak board though still, and the Shaman really wants to snowball the board, maybe drop a Lotheb before the brawl goes off and really punish the Warrior with the Flame Tongue especially. But now he's not going to have that much damage out of nowhere. I really hate doing this as Warrior, but Hosty sees that he feels like he might have to.
Well,
So even if this Acolyte but unfortunately for him,
going to be more than 0 draws.
Yeah. It really sucks to throw a weapon charge into a totem that could just get replayed next turn. He's not okay. He's not gonna go for it. Yeah, Yeti or Shock seems fine. And actually, Hosty has no way to deal with the Yeti, so it's proving its worth here.
yeah, it's like you put out similar stats to
Yeah, you can see a Gnomish Inventor would have just got killed here by the weapon and the Acolyte. Whereas the Yeti lives and deals 6 damage.
Lothep was actually
Definitely. Yeah. Shaman would like to be like snowballing the board at this point, but once it gets to late game, it gets harder and harder. Because he's gonna, yeah. Yeah. You'd like to Flame Elemental, Fire Elemental something for value, which he can't really do here. He might just kill the Lotheb, but let's see, that lets his Fire Elemental get executed next turn. He's looking at the Warrior's turn 6, which he usually expects like a Sylvanas or a Karn. He has no Urshock to deal with that, so he could be prepping for that. But I think Fire Elemental is still fine against either of those. And Haunted Creeper, it's basically just Haunted Creeper Totem or Fire Elemental. And if he wants to go face or kill the Lotheb.
Lothep killing the Fire Elemental just straight up, though.
Yeah.
At
He-
least if you get out Execute. I mean, Execute's going to come out eventually.
He could just put the damage from the Fire Elemental on the Loatheb and go face with the Yeti and then clean up with Lightning Storm later. Okay, so he's probably gonna Lightning Storm maybe and then clean up with Fire Elemental later. Actually, this guarantees that the Fire Elemental will get value somehow and kill something when it comes into play.
Well, assuming your opponent doesn't have
Ooh. Yeah. Alright, so this is looking really good for Hosty all of a sudden. Lightning Storm is not good against Control Warrior.
Yeah, there's not really much many targets that have low health that can easily get swept.
even if they do, they're often cards that you can play.
Yeah.
So seeing the big game hunter, I mean, of course, if you're playing Fire,
Okay, so the Fire Elemental does kill the Loatheb. It's perfect. No response from Hosty yet. Still no response. But, like I said, at this point in the game, the Shaman would like to have a few more creatures. Maybe this is the turn to do it. He could top deck into the Feral Spirits at any point here. And then really punish the Warrior. There's no response. No brawl. And the Harrison Jones just sitting in Hosty's hand. He can't play. He's like, I have to save this for the Doomhammer. It's actually looking really good for the Shaman now that I look at it. He's behind on cards, but all Hosty's cards don't do anything right now. He's going to definitely... Grom on a minion against Shaman happens a lot. It's for fine play. It's like a Super Yeti. Here's the Flame Tongue. Not what he wanted. Like I said, he wanted the Feral Spirits. He wanted to populate the board. So an Argus. At any point he draws an Argus or Feral Spirits, it's going to be really punishing now. His Hosty is still pretty high HP, but Whirlwind is actually going to do a lot here. The big game hunter's down, so he feels safe doing the Fire Elemental next to the Flame Tongue Totem.
I'm back hyped. My mic was having a little bit of problems. Yeah, you know, I think Hosty, even though he's seen a lot of pressure, that Whirlwind can be in effect, but then his follow-up is still pretty weak at the moment. Oh, well, look at that.
Belcher's nice.
Belcher's pretty strong.
Yeah, so now the Shaman's really behind on cards, and this board is no longer superior.
Yeah, and his spells don't really help leverage the board that much. With Lightning Storm, again, it's often going to be used to try to remove maybe one big creature if you have spell power, but that's about it.
Now he gets the Alakir Flame Tongue if he wants to, and it works out pretty well. He's got 9 mana for the Zombie Chow.
I don't see a better alternative, but one thing in the back of your mind is you're worried about Black Knight, and the Black Knight will get off the best value that he can imagine, and Hosty is probably happy to see that. At the same time, though, how much damage is he going to be taking over the course of a couple turns? His Fire Elemental is still doing a lot. It's done, well, it's going to be doing 24 damage worth unless Hosty picks up Execute number 2.
Yeah, I wonder why let's see, why doesn't he want to throw that on Zombie Chow? The heal, probably. He's like, oh, is this just going to heal him before it does the damage? Maybe he'll just save it for when he gets the Argus.
Possibly,
Guarantee the second target.
Yeah, well, Black Knight here is going to get the optimal target. And once again, Hosty going to try to armor up, but this Fire Elemental's done so much already.
Yeah. Okay, there's the Argus, so we probably will see the Zombie Chow here.
Yeah, and at this point, you're just shoving, right? You're just trying to go as hard as you can. You know your opponent eventually might get Brawl. You're looking for Doomhammer. You already used Alakir. So Pinpingho has to make this push work.
Yeah, so he'll clear whatever the Black Knight hits. It'll die to Lightning Storm next turn.
Mm-hmm.
But the Grom will live through any Lightning Storm.
You think Grom's coming out this turn?
Yeah,
Compared
like Grom.
to
Sylvanas is a huge risk against Shaman. It could just get Hexed or Earthshocked immediately and do nothing. Whereas the Grom guaranteed kills something and it has a ton of health, so it'll live through most AoE, but maybe a too high Lightning Storm procs will kill it.
I guess it's always the case where it's like you use Gromosh and then you lose your finisher potential, but I mean this is the case where you need to survive too as well.
Against Shaman, you have like these bigger creatures, and eventually you'll just get 2 big creatures that'll just clear everything.
Mm-hmm.
So Grom is one. It'll kill like
sense.
3 or 4 things. And yeah.
I mean, you bounce back up to 21 health as well. Your opponent will have 12 on board. So that still puts you in Doomhammer with the Rockbiter range, but he needs to have specifically those 2 cards.
Yeah. Looks like Hosty's counting that right now. He's thinking about something like Sylvanas Deathspite, but I think Grom is probably better.
Well, especially with the information that we have.
Yeah.
Fortunately, there is no Hex, but Ping does have 1 more draw on the next turn. Ah, it's Feral Spirits, and you're hoping for that card a few turns back.
Against Warrior, you don't really want it early because it just dies to Fiery, but later it's super strong after they've already brawled. So he might be saving it for after Brawl, but I think with the Sylvanas on board, you probably just want to spam here. I don't know what kind of finishers he has. We don't know if he plays Doomhammer at all. And we saw the Alaki already go down, so.
I'm trying to actually wrap my head around the fact that this Fire Elemental, if it attacks face, does 32 damage already. And that's not even counting its Battle Cry effect.
Yeah, it's strong. Especially, yeah, once that, you usually don't see it next to the Flame Tongue because of big game, but we saw it get burned already.
Well, if you're Ping here, you're really afraid of a Brawl, right? So are you willing to try and just give up Sylvanas now? Or, sorry, let Sylvanas take a creature now before you play Feral Spirits, or what?
Nope, looks like he's going for the Feral Spirits first.
Wow.
And you gonna kill that black? Okay. It's fine. I guess it's Lightning Storm here.
Sure. Well, either way, Sylvanas is going to be able to pick up a creature, and he's going to toss it after the Feral Spirits gets played. And he does take one of the taunt creatures. I think that was about the medium result. Still no way to deal with this Fire Elemental. It's actually kind of ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he can only clear 2 creatures, and then the Searing Totem will have the Flame Tongue buff, so the Fire Elemental will still get through. It's really annoying. Maybe if he kills the Flame Tongue Totem.
Yeah.
That's the only way. So he has to swing into the Spirit Wolf and then Shield Slam the Flame Tongue Totem, which you don't normally want to do.
Might be his best course of action, honestly.
He'll only take 2 damage, and he'll armor up, so he'll still be at 10 HP, and then he can Grom the Fire Elemental next turn.
And then if Shaman doesn't have anything else, if he's picking up some of his weaker spells or shocks, you know, along those lines, then
yeah,
he won't be able to finish him.
And we saw he had the Yeti instead of the Gnomish, so he can't like top deck into something like that as well.
Right.
So maybe his deck is designed to kill faster rather than drag the game out.
Sure, sure.
He just wants to run out of cards by this point.
Well, both these guys are running out of cards. But I like the quality of the Warriors draws better than Shaman. Hosty should not attack into this 1-3 because then his Wolf can get easily picked off. But the bad news, is that he does have damage to end the game anyways. That Rockbiter draw was really big. And Hosty is going to go down in game number 1.
That's rough. Hosty was so close to a recovery that there he just needed either the Brawl, maybe the Get In, and he would have just folded.
Laughably bad sometimes. We don't know exactly which kind of Miracle Rogue it is from Hosty, but he's going up against what? Oh, it's the Druid deck.
Okay, well,
That's my
SI7's
apologies.
always good against Druid. It's a little hard to proc here without the backstab, but the Prep will help. Prep is actually really good against Druid just to get the tempo, because once you get the 3/3s, or we'll see what this Van Cleef is. We don't see a keeper in Pinpingho's hand, so the Van Cleef can be any size. We'll see if Hosty keeps it at, but the Prep will get the tempo, and then he'll get the 3/3s, which the Druid will just really struggle to clear. He has the 1 Wrath, but after that, the minions just keep piling up from Rogue. So I'd say any Rogue deck is favored against Druid, unfortunately. But we do see the Innervate Shade is huge.
Is there any merit to Van Cleefing this turn with using a couple of your spells in tandem?
It feels so wasteful, and that he sees that it's going to his turn 3, but he sells the coin, so Coin Keeper is just on his mind. He's like, ugh. But he might have to take the risk because Innervate Shade already puts him behind. Alright, so his next, he's thinking, he's got the Blood Mage Evis is usually how you kill the Druid's 4-drop, the Yeti. He doesn't have the Yeti. Maybe he'll get it right here. No.
But
He actually has no play. He could Wrath his Shade for one. He's not gonna.
Yes, if you want to cycle that badly.
Yeah, but he has 2/5. He has the coin, and he has 2 5-drops to use with on his turn 4 and turn 5, so he doesn't need to cycle.
And he's got the important 5-drop too. Lotheb is really good to shut down this deck.
Yeah.
And it could be very much the case where Hosty's just waiting for a long time for gadgets in or some card to come, and he could be stuck waiting the entire game.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it to the Druid right now, even though the Rogue is favored overall. Usually the Rogue is favored against Druid, but the Druid will win if he gets 2 things: either a good Innervate early and the Lotheb. It's either a good Innervate and the Lotheb or the Spectral Knight. Those are the 3 things, and you just need 2 of those, and you'll win usually. And the Lotheb's really gonna hurt him.
Pinping's got 2 of those things.
Some people like saving the Lotheb for Gadget, but it's also fine to play it on curve. It's super. Oh, he could play it on here, and he could bring out the Shade. Perfect time to bring out the Shade is with the Lotheb. 2 5/5s, and the Rogue can't use any spells. He has the SI7 agent, which is really nice for killing Lotheb, but he still doesn't quite have enough damage to kill anything if he doesn't get like a South Sea here.
What to do?
So I would just go ahead and go with the Lotheb. You have 2 5/5s, and then next turn, they're both going to live. And then next turn you have a 5/5, a 6/6, and then maybe a 4/4 charger.
Is he worried in the back of his mind about leaving up this Thalanos?
I guess he's not going to play Lotheb then, because you don't have to worry about the Thalanos if you play Lotheb.
Well,
So he favors saving the Lotheb.
yeah.
And that's fine. He could just keep his Shade stealth. He doesn't need the extra hit. Maybe not. He doesn't have the combo in hand, though. Maybe he doesn't.
Did he play a little too quickly because he drew
No, I think
his Haunted
well,
Creeper?
Coin, Haunted Creeper.
No, he didn't have the coin. He actually had the
Oh,
the
he
mana
did
to- he
hero
hero
powered.
powered
Oh,
instead.
Yeah.
So did he play too quickly, hyped?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's something that the Asian players do struggle with in general. They sometimes jump to conclusions a little too quickly, but to be fair, Western players also make that mistake as well.
Alright, so swipe is fine.
Shade is getting huge.
Oh, there's the Spectral Knight. Awesome.
So he is going for Lotheb this time
Yeah.
around, and
Okay, so there's the South Sea. So he would have been able to kill it anyways if he's willing to like 2/2 Edwin or 2/2 Edwin first to proc the SI7. But now he could do the South Sea. But see, I really would have liked to see this Lotheb last turn. He wanted to kill a Thalanos, but now there's a Azure Drake instead of a Thalanos. Same thing with 3 more attack and power.
he can backstab as well. He was hovering over it. That's 3 damage plus the 2 from the South Sea, and that does end up taking out the Lotheb.
He's still gonna need maybe a flurry real quick because the Druid's gonna have 2 creatures on board next turn.
Yeah, both of these are guys you want to take out. But you prioritize the Shade though,
Yeah, it's a 7/7 next turn,
right?
and the Lotheb doesn't have any. It's not like it can be Shadow Step. The Druid can't do anything to the Lotheb, so
Hey man, it is the Asian meta game. They might just throw in a Brewmaster or 2.
Brewmaster, okay, I can see it.
You Brewmaster coin, play Lotheb again.
Devastated.
Blow your mind. Well, not much to laugh about here because Hosty's under a lot of pressure, and he finally takes out the Shade. But I mean, he's getting disrupted, and the worst part is his opponent does have a lot more fuel to add to the fire.
He has the prep, so he can catch up, but he only has like 1 more turn to do so. Or else it's just gonna be too late.
Ooh.
He needs to use the prep next turn with something useful. The Edwin might not be enough on its own. He needs to get a big prep turn next turn. Maybe if he got a Cold Blood, and he would like get a Cold Blood conceal with the Edwin also concealed, that'd be a big turn if he's able to clear the Lotheb as well. That's one way to come back.
Wow, swipe to the face. That is really aggressive. I mean, he has Savage Roar in hand with Druid of the Claw, and as long as these minions stick, he can kick Hosty out of this game. And Hosty needs something really massive here.
Yeah, Druid of the Claw Savage Roar is already 8 damage guaranteed, so only needs to get 4 damage through. Which, if one of those spiders lives, or okay, 3, that's only 3 damage, so he needs to get 1 more damage than that. Let's see. Oh, he has the Earthen though.
Yeah, that was a pretty important draw.
Okay, so yeah, he's gonna prep out the Edwin and the Earthen and conceal them both. Oh, okay. Full clearing, because that swipe suggests that yeah, he has lethal next turn with that 1 damage.
Sure. Oh man. He's worried about Innervate combo?
Yeah, I think he really should have just not sapped and gone for the 2 creatures, but I don't think it would have been enough either way. Let's see how big this Edwin is.
Yeah, because if it survived, if he had, I mean, either way, you can't play around this innervate combo potential.
Yeah.
But you definitely conceal. And you know what? You have 2 conceals, so maybe that gives you 2 turns of this Edwin attack.
Yeah.
But it's
Maybe
still a Hail
something
Mary.
like a Lotheb Earthen Ring next turn would be really good for him.
He didn't have the force of nature. Well, this is still somewhat problematic.
Yeah, I think Spectral Knight Haunted Creeper is the most chance of, and then you just play the Druid of the Claw when you do Savage Roar. Interesting. Goes for the hero power. Doesn't need the innervate for anything anyways. Let's see, for Hosty get out of this.
Is it, like, if he draws, we always try to count down, like, is it too late for gadgets? And if he draws it, is it too late?
Yeah, he wants Lotheb. Ooh. Oh, he can
Shiv into Lothar?
he can full clear now.
Oh, he can.
Yeah.
That's right.
He takes 1 damage, he goes into 10, but Pinpingho could only do 8 next turn. So it'll be 2 damage off, plus he can probably get the Earthen out.
Right. And he did use Innervate, so he can't Innervate the combo. But he still can coin into the combo. Well, I suppose you're not really playing around that.
He really would have liked to see a Cold Blood there, and then that would have given him potential lethal next turn with the Conceal.
He needs to kill off the Spectral Knight or else
Yeah.
he's dead. I think he's like wondering if
So
oh,
he's
man.
like, yeah. So if you look at his board, if he conceals and it all gets through next turn, that's 17 damage with the dagger, plus 18 with the dagger hit this turn. So he's 3 off, but he's got the deadly, which adds 2, so he's 2 off, and 3 off if he hero powers. So it's pretty likely he gets the 3 damage. I mean, most rogue damage spells do 4 damage with either Cold Bloody Vis.
So he's pretty close, but still far. No, Keep of the Grove isn't it. He needed his force of nature to potentially end this game. It's still a scary moment for Pinpingho.
Yeah, it looks like Hosty might make the comeback. It was looking horrible for him, but it's actually possible now. So I think he just
what do you do here?
probably just heal.
Yeah. Seems like his best course of action. Put yourself out of range and then still potentially threaten. I mean,
He might even just coin hero power as well.
yeah. I mean, the coin at this point is not very helpful, and gaining the 1 life might be the difference between living or dying. Or getting the damage in even, honestly.
Yeah, because he has the 8. Yeah, 8 damage guaranteed, so he's 5 off.
Well, if any of the spiders live, that's an additional 3.
Alright, so he's choosing that too.
Oh my. That might be a really nice draw.
Okay, so Hosty knows he doesn't have combo. Pinpingho, if he's been keeping track of the coin, which he most likely has.
Right. Well, no, I think he understood that too when his opponent played Innervate.
Yeah. There's the
Oh,
4 damage
man.
source. Oh, but he already...
He healed too, so
oh yeah, the heal.
he couldn't get through, and he already used some of the damage with the Farseer.
Okay, so you probably you can't Cold Blood you can't trade in with the Edwin. Actually, so he goes down to 8 HP if he hits it.
Yeah, well, he's definitely going to attack the face. He can't use his health as a resource. It's all about the painful exchanges here.
Yeah, so he would have died if he hit the lower with his face anyways.
So do you want a 10-1 and a 7-2, or would you rather have a 10-6 and give up your SI7?
Yeah, I think he... Well, the Edwin's only been concealed, right? So he has the Keeper right there. And Hosty probably assumes that he has the Keeper or the Big Game Hunter at this point. So I think, yeah, you do that.
Oh, man.
That way it's... Oh, he doesn't Cold Blood, though.
That's interesting. I wonder if he's playing any Chargers. That might be what he's
Yeah,
using Cold
this
Blood
another
for.
South Sea possibly. Or he just wants... This way, if he gets gadgets, better.
Sure. It gives him a draw. Alright, well Ping can now snipe. He doesn't have swipe, which could have been an easy clear, but Keep of the Grove is a nice fix. Temporary band-aid.
Draw first. I don't think he can get lethal though this turn. Yeah.
No, but he can even remove enough damage from the board where the opponent can't kill you. I mean, if you drop this plus your Shade of Next Rammus, I think you're in a pretty good spot.
So Hosty needs Gadget. He's gonna drop the Cold Blood and find a Flurry maybe. And also a backstab. That's how he wins.
Well,
Yeah, so Gadget,
that seems like a
Cold Blood,
pretty conditional statement, Hypes.
backstab. No, he's got it. He's got it.
Just gotta believe. I mean, he hasn't found any Gadget Sands yet, and it needs to line up perfectly. I mean, Phantom Knife still gives him
the second
some
Phantom
room.
Knife. Oh, he
Yeah.
already used one though.
It's his second.
Flurry. Oh, Flurry would have been nice.
Ooh. I think that's gonna be it then, right? Because he can't deal with like he's gonna be taking this damage, but then he can't deal with the Shade of Next Rammus, and that's gonna be 13 either way, no matter how you cut the cookie.
Yeah, no Gadgets in. We don't know if he's playing Violet Teacher, but you can win against a Druid without Gadget if you have the Violet Teacher. You kind of use that as your almost as good as Gadget, and you just make the 1/1s instead of draw card. But he didn't get either this game, so it's really rough.
All right, well, Pinpingho just calculating damage, see if he needed. But the truth is, Swipe or Savage Roar is enough to end the game. So that's going to do it for Game 2, and Hosty is going to be down 0-2 to start off the series. And I believe his last match is a Warlock Mirror. Into the game, and it looks like you're right.
Yeah, so I'll take that water soon.
You'll take that water. I
But
should have
it's
made
a
a
mirror.
bet. I should have made a bet when Ping was also playing Handlock, because I know the Taiwanese players loved it. So it is the mirror, and Hosty
Keeping the Molten.
keeping the mold.
I'm probably assuming it's Zoo.
That is true.
So there's the Draxus, but they're probably both playing Draxus. It's very popular right now. We don't. Okay, so there's already one flavor card right there, the Faceless. Some people got that. Hosty has it. Some would consider that greedy. It could also signal an Arcane Golem, but it's usually just there, just like to copy a Mountain Giant, something like that.
All right. And neither of these guys have the ever important 4-mana play
There it
yet,
is.
but we finally get one for Ping. But I do tend to favor the guy who ends up going first with the turn 4 threats.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, in fact, both of them playing Faceless.
Wonder if one of them plays 2 Faceless even. That would be insane.
Double Faceless. Definitely a Raynad type of thing. He loves doing double Faceless shenanigans.
So still, yeah, still pretty basic.
Oof. That is tough. Especially considering that his opponent will have a turn 4 play and he doesn't have a direct answer. Oh,
Okay.
oh man.
Just mirroring each other, but like you said, one player. Well, he's not going first, but he's going first in this sense. Okay, both almost the same.
Seeing the same hands mirrored back and forth. Well, what's stopping you from plopping down this Mountain Giant?
I'm not sure. Let's see, he's going to his turn 5. Maybe that Faceless scares him. He's like, it's going to be Faceless, but he's still going to hit for 8. That's good. Might see a lot of Facelesses here.
You think the Faceless over the Giant?
Let's see, the Giant lets you tap, but you have too many cards. So I think you just save the mana then.
Gotcha. So you're able to use your mana more efficiently.
I guess the Mountain Giant would let you Owl if you wanted to and just bash in, but I don't think that's what they want to do.
Makes sense.
Owl's super valuable in this matchup too.
Oh, but he can coin Siphon Soul. Oh, he also has his own Faceless, so he can trade it. He can basically reset the board, essentially, to what it
Nice.
was. And, I mean, these handlock mirrors can be so lopsided with how games go, because one player can just press advantage and end the game quickly. Especially when Shadow Flame comes into play, it gets really swingy.
Shadow Flame is huge. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna see the Faceless.
Oh. Faces having cold feet.
Yeah. You get the Argus and kill it, but
Yeah, I guess you could, but then if he has Mortal Coil, you give him really big initiative
Yeah.
because he has a lot of mana to play with the following turn. I think I favor the Faceless here. For sure. And plus, if he puts out another threat, you can Siphon Soul and push on curve. And keeping the coin can be really valuable too, you never know. This is a lot of pressure.
Hosty's dealing with it, but just giving initiative back to Pinping every single turn.
Yeah, that's the danger of it. But the good thing is it doesn't look like, other than Sludge Belcher, which is relatively defensive, there's not much that Pinping can do next turn yet.
Yeah. Hosty has not much going for him in his hand. That Lothep, you really want to be ahead when you play Lothep. You slam Lothep, you hit them in the face, and your whole board is basically invincible. Got Belcher.
Yeah, but Belcher, yeah, it doesn't really do much.
Yeah. He gives up a tap to play it, so. You can't get too much with tap, though. It's better than Belcher, but maybe he does want to get deeper in his deck right now.
What are we saving the coin for, by the way, at this point? Is it just to have more options to do?
I think so. Handlock is pretty mana tight sometimes, and sometimes the coin lets you do some insane Shadow Flame plays.
That's true.
So he's just, yeah, tap or Sludge Belcher. Could even coin the Sludge Belcher still if he wants.
Yeah, but the more you explain like how it can be really tough for the handlock to fit in really powerful plays, especially with Shadow Flame in hand, it might be important to keep that.
Yeah. So you see the Argus doing not much, but it is a little clunky at 4 mana. He's already got the Sun Fury, so maybe he just wants to use it. There's the...
Alright. He can't tap before the Mountain Giant, but he can tap afterwards. That's not a mistake. A lot of people be like, oh no, why didn't he tap first?
respecting the Black Knight, not taunting up the Mountain Giant.
Yes. Black Knight is a possibility where you see it come out and just swing the matchup once again.
Bluffing the Soulfire, maybe. Or just thinking about his next turn.
Sure. I mean, you had the time. Picks up Azure Drake. It's just another card, but a little bit weaker just because of how owls are running the handlock. You might get silenced.
Yeah, we see the Owl Mortal Claw combo already in hand.
Right, and that gives him 5 mana to play something else. What does Pinping have a clear here? I mean, he can deal with the giant just one piece of removal for each, but can he leverage anything on the board here? I think he can. In fact, he can... What do you think about this hype? Twilight Drake, a coin, Shadow Flame, and Soulfire.
Coin, Shadow Flame, Soulfire. Ooh.
Is that too much resources being expended? You get pretty good board control.
You have like really high quality cards though after that. 'Cause if you're using the coin already,
That's
like
true.
look at all those cards. The only card he'd be happy to discard is the Hellfire, I think. Maybe the Sun Fury.
So you
Siphon
think just
seems
Siphon
fine,
Soul is
yeah.
alright? Biding your time. I can get behind that as well. I mean, these are things you have to consider as well. And plus, if you lose Jiraxis, that's always a sad moment.
Yeah, he's got a really good hand for after Draxus too, with the Sludge Belch and the Sun Fury. He can get really defensive and just wall up.
Right. And
the Shadow Flame too.
yeah. All right, back over in, I believe this is Hosty's hand. He picks up Hellfire number 2, and that's certainly to deal with aggro, but I don't know. I guess second Hellfire could be used as a way to do direct damage when you need to kill your opponent, but it generally doesn't seem that powerful unless you have a very weak board that conveniently falls into place.
Yeah, Hosty needs something. His hand just doesn't... There's no way to come back with that hand. So I wouldn't be surprised to see the tap, but the Lotheb does let him stabilize. That'll give him initiative, I think.
Is there any merit to using like Hellfire now, and then like you say you use Hellfire and you attack the Sun Fury, and then you can Mortal Coil and then even Farseer to heal up. Words after you
Looks like he's doing it. He has to kill that Watcher somehow. This is pretty good way to kill it. Keeps his Watcher alive.
Alright, second Watcher instead of Farseer is also fine too, for
Yeah.
flexibility purposes. But this is where the Owl will actually have lots of use, because if your opponent doesn't play the Twilight Drake, you can use it to silence your Watcher, or in this case, he is favoring the Drake. You can answer immediately.
Ooh, and the Lotheb, so doesn't have to worry about Owl Mortal Coil. Actually, it would be 6. He could afford it, but it would be a weak turn.
Plus, he already used the Mortal Coil anyways.
Yeah.
Well, immediately your eye hovers over to silencing the Twilight Drake, but is that the best course of action here?
No
What
way
do
to
you
finish
do
it.
after that?
Yeah. The Lotheb is just huge. It's like, usually their response is the Lotheb back. Belcher doesn't do much. Belcher's super weak to Lotheb. Tapping, looking for something. Okay, so he does go for it.
Yeah, I think it's just to prevent the easy pickup trade with the Twilight Drake on the Ancient Watcher.
Yeah.
But if his opponent does have Owl in response, it does make him quite vulnerable to some AoE clear.
Okay, so we are seeing a Sylvanas. There's some flavor.
Yeah, Sylvanas Shadow Flame is still one of the best AoEs you could ever ask for. It's like a favorable brawl in most cases. So he taps Ancient Watcher. See, with Shadow Flame, still not very sexy.
Yeah, it's so easy to get a big Shadow Flame. You don't need to.
Yeah.
for that.
Plus, you have Sylvanas in hand already.
I mean, just playing defensive. His hand is so good.
Yeah.
You could afford to.
It's so good. It's got a lot of quality removal. It's got strong minions. It's got Jiraxis as well.
Yeah.
And Strifeco would always talk to me about how how important it is mid game that you have a strong post Jiraxis hand, and like you said, it's really looking really good. In the meantime, Hosty, his hand is looking a little awkward still, but he's got some good tools to build up a reasonably strong board and even dig.
How does he kill the Lotheb, though? Does he have to Hellfire, or does he have to let it live? Oh, he's looking for something. Okay.
Alright.
Not so far.
I think Hellfire here is appropriate. You can heal up the Drake afterwards, or plop down another way to make yourself resistant to AoE.
Yeah, Hellfire really fits with the leaves you 5 mana with the Belcher and the Lotheb. And your opponent, you don't have to worry about him being in Molten Giant range, and you have a Molten Giant, you're getting close to yourself, so.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, I didn't know, but Hellfire is actually killing Murlocs in the picture.
Oh, I
Did you
not
see that? I just saw, look, there's actually like 2 Murlocs in there. That's really cool. And really appropriate. God, I always want Hellfire to kill
Yeah,
these
just burn 'em
Murlocs.
down.
Yeah. Awesome. I wonder if that's his Murlocs, though. Maybe it is. Okay, back over to Ping Ping. Defender of Argus is another good card post Jiraxis, but still looking for the best option here. He's going to have to Soulfire after this Hellfire. Be relatively painful. And it's starting to get to the health ranges too, where you're worried about activating Molten Giants for your opponents.
Yeah. We see so he had this Sylvanas Shadow Flame. Wasn't that good, though, so he immediately tapped for something better. But now his options still aren't that good. I think it's going to involve taunting up an Ancient Watcher and waiting for a better Shadow Flame. Yeah, the Hellfire Soulfire, it would still leave the Twilight Drake up, too, so it wouldn't even be that good.
Yeah, it's true. It doesn't even do anything. It kills a Watcher that's not even activated at the moment.
Yeah, so maybe he will Soulfire that Drake. Pop the Sylvanas first. Super weak to Owl, though, which he does have.
Yeah, and Sylvanas is such a good combo with the Shadow Flame in case your opponent does have those giants. I think I favor the taunt play instead. Oh, you know what? Just kidding. I guess you can't go for the taunt play.
Yeah.
Soulfire does weird things like that sometimes. All right, so Pinping opts to just go with a very, very slow turn. And now Hosty can take initiative because he does have a low enough health for this giant to come out.
Yeah. Choosing it. Might not attack with the Belcher. Who knows?
Right. Because his opponent will have 9 health, and that just makes it really hard for him to play a giant and do something else. Unless he picks up Mountain Giant. That's a big draw here for Pinping.
So you can't really Shadow Flame the Sylvanas because the Ooze will spawn first and it'll be a really bad 50-50 to take. So he probably wants to kill the first half of the Belcher before, somehow to prep for the Sylvanas Shadow Flame at some point. You can't do it this turn though.
No. Well, without sacrificing
Well,
a lot.
Okay.
The Owl does kill off the slime, though.
Yeah.
So
He can't do it all in one turn though, so he'd have to do it before, which is really awkward.
Yeah.
This seems fine.
well, that should make Hosty a little bit more happy about building up the board again, and he picks up another giant to play. And this is good. Get it all out of your hand before cards like Drax hit out the board, because you're going to be playing threats anyways with this hero power. This is starting to pick around, and it makes sense
Yeah.
too, because Hosty's beginning hand was pretty clunky compared to his opponent.
It actually sets up for lethal too with the Jirax's Soulfire next turn. So say he he could do Mountain Giant Loatheb right here. Oh, doesn't take it.
I still can do Mountain Giant with it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Wasn't doing the Mountain Giant math. Okay, so this is perfect. And now he has 7 burst damage, or he could do 6 burst damage with the Defender, and then he could afford an Owl as well.
And he can't take it, or he can't destroy it rather, because it costs too much mana. He's got Sylvanas and a taunt, but there is an Iron Beak Owl.
Yeah, Owl, Defender, Soulfire should be able to get through anything. He needs like double taunt somehow.
So the only way to double taunt is to play a smaller creature of some sort.
Yeah, he
I
needs
mean-
like Soulfire Face into double Molten Taunt.
It's
Something like
looking
that.
like, it looks pretty bad for Pinping here. Or unless we have it backwards. It's looking bad for Hosty.
I'm not sure. I'm lost at this point.
Have we been casting this entire match backwards hyped?
It's possible. We can look at the facial expressions, maybe make a read.
Oh,
Looks like it's
man.
Hosty's.
Oh, it looks like it is Hosty. All right, it's not looking that good for Hosty at the moment.
Okay. Yeah. Is Soulfire Face the only way out? He knows he's taking at least 13. Or I guess he could Defender. He could taunt up. So maybe Sylvanas, Sun Fury with Owl? Or just Sylvanas,
Oh
I guess.
no, but that's gonna do it because his opponent Pinping does have the silence, and that's gonna be able to do it for game 3. That's gonna be a 3-0 for our Taiwanese player. I think Hosty recognizes that there's just way too much damage, an easy way to get past it. And we're gonna have a big upset here, in my opinion. Well, maybe it isn't, because we just don't know too much about Pinping. But Hosty was a guy coming in as one of the highest seeds for
Yeah.
the round of 8.
Hosty's definitely an underrated player, but Pinping we don't even know.